Hi everybody. I wanted to make a quick 5-minute video or so concerning the things we were talking about in the personality section of this self topic. So in case you're looking at this and you don't go to Rush, this is all part of the introductory wellness unit for the health education course for the Arts Academy at Benjamin Rush. And I would be doing this at any school that I taught at because it's a really big foundation to the rest of everything that you're talking about. And we we started off with just an overview of what wellness was, and you can watch those videos there, and talks about the physical, intellectual, social, emotional, and spiritual sections of a person's self, along with other things that could be included in that as well. You can just Google wellness wheel and you'll be able to see all of the different categories and how they're defined by different places. Of course, we defined them in a secular manner. For the word spiritual, it's really like ethical or values and terms of beliefs, and we talked about a lot about influences and behaviors and how they shape things, and then we talked about decision making and choices. So when we moved on to self, and we defined self as just who am I, and it's a sense of who you are. And of course we talked about the terms self-esteem, self-concept, self-image, and we'll talk about body image in a future lesson, but we're really focusing on like just who we are and developing as a person. So yesterday in class, if you're doing this in order, we really talked about the question, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? And we also looked at the Native American tale of two wolves, and we basically went and we're talking about how your attitude, your outlook, and your perception towards life and towards the world and towards people around you affects your character. And your character is the outward expression of what people see, but it also is your personality. And your personality is affected by a lot of different things. And the things that affect your personality include such things as genetics and your influences and your upbringing and your culture. And there's a big list, and that's on the self slideshow and the self video, which are also on the website and the YouTube page. So today I want to really focus on, well, that was already 2 minutes, so it's going to be about 5 minutes from now. I want to really focus on the concept of actual personality by going through some things on the web page. Now, the industry standard for personality is this thing called Myers-Briggs personality. So that's the industry standard, but I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, so I'm not using that one. I'm using one that's really, really fun, and it's called the True Colors personality. It was originally developed by a guy named Lowry around 1978 or so. It has changed a little bit since then, but the basics are still there. The actual assessment is $50, but there's some free ones around the internet. Whether they're absolutely accurate or not, it's a different story. I'm not sure. And the colors are broken down into blue, gold, green, and orange, going clockwise. Blue, gold, green, and orange. And almost every graphic that you see on the internet, whether it is this one or whether it's this one, are almost always made in such a way so that blue and green go crisscross and orange and gold go crisscross. And you can pause this video here if you want to see a more in-depth thing, or you can go back to the website if you're one of my students. But basically it comes down to a blue person is very emotionally driven. They want peace and harmony with groups. They're creative. They tend to be sympathetic, and they oftentimes put others first. When I was learning this, I was told that a blue person cannot be happy unless they're making others happy. So that's something about blue. Well, green is the opposite of that. Green is very logically driven. They're an independent thinker. They're focused. They're very analytical. They're very like time sensitive and task oriented. And those two things, they tend to clash, right? They're opposites. And as I mentioned in class, and if you were not in my class or you were absent and you're hearing this for the first time, sometimes it's really important to understand, which all the time, it's really important to understand what the other person's color is that you are involved in when you have a best friend, a close friend, in a relationship that you can't avoid, such as like with a boss or something like that. But also when you are with a significant other, when you have a partner, when you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, a spouse, then it's important to understand who they are, because me and my wife, me and Mrs. Karabi, we're polar opposites when it comes to those things. So if I'm upset with something, I'm very green. So if I'm upset with something, I tend to want to think through it. I tend to want to problem solve. I tend to want to be alone with it. And when I can't do those things, I get really stressed and really upset. She's the opposite. She is very emotionally driven and really excited about things, and she wants people to be around her. So, for example, if she's upset with something, my idea is that she needs me to leave her alone or offer a solution, where she actually in real life needs me to be there and just kind of listen. And I do the opposite. So I want her to leave me alone and give me time to think about it, and she wants to be right there and solve the problem right away. So it causes conflict sometimes, but if you understand each other, then you can be able to work through that. So it's really important. Gold and orange are also polar opposites. So gold, it can be summed up as really organized. They are a planner, so to speak, and orange isn't. Orange is like, it'll happen, it'll be all right, spur of the moment, YOLO, let's live for right now kind of thing. And this isn't a problem unless when you take the surveys yourself, your top two are conflicting colors. They shouldn't be. So my top two are green and gold, and sometimes they switch depending on the stage of my life that I'm taking it. And my wife's top two are blue and gold. So that's why we get along so well. Even though our top thing contradicts, our second thing is the same. So if your top two are blue and green, or your top two are gold and orange, you're in constant conflict with yourself, trying to figure out what the right thing is to do at a particular moment. Along with that is Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. And you can totally look this up on your own. I'm not going to spend time talking about it so much on this, but your multiple intelligence should match your true color personality. So for instance, if you're a blue person, then you should have a higher interpersonal, people smart, than intrapersonal, self smart. And you can go and look at that on your own and do that from our website, or just do a search. And the only other thing about personality for this is also the thing about type A versus type B, and there's actually type C's and D's too, and it's a little bit confusing because C's and D's are just a blend of A and B, and we all have a little bit of each A and B. But the short version, of course, is type A is always competitive, time urgent, hostile, and aggressive, and type B is kind of like relaxed, patient, easygoing. I definitely lean towards type A. I can be type B, but not very often. So I lean towards type A. So whether you're fully type A or fully type B or type C or type D, which I didn't explain at all, then you're going to go towards one or the other. So keep that in mind, and you could look that up on your own. But the point of it is your type A or type B or type C or type B, type D, that should also match with what your true colors thing says. So it's fun. You don't have to do the paid one to be able to figure out a basics of it. And if it's not right, then find another free survey and do that one too and compare it. And if they come up with the same, maybe you are that color and you didn't know. Okay, so next time in class somebody says, what color are you? It means blue, gold, green, or orange. All right, thank you and have a great rest of your day.